Thank you for watching EVH Gear Discussion. Brought to you in part by VanHalenStore.com. Please be sure to subscribe.
Hey everyone, welcome to EVH Gear Discussion, and happy Tuesday, as Poison Ivy says in the live chat. Actually, we got quite a few people popping in really quickly already. Poison Ivy, obviously, first to the draw. Quentin James saying hi there. Sean Zimmerman, hey guys, how is everyone? Cole Azell, happy Tuesday to you too, Poison. Hey everyone. Darren Moore joining in. Your mom saying hey folks, and Sinner's joining us. Hey Sinner, and Sinner, thank you for the suggestion or encouraging me to go live. I posted that I would maybe do a little bit of an impromptu live broadcast this evening, and Sinner kind of echoed the sentiment to do that. So here I am. Really nothing formal on the agenda for the evening. It's a rare occurrence for me to do a Tuesday. I think it's Tuesday, isn't it? But yeah, we're going to just do a little bit of an unboxing. Actually, it's just mail opening. It's from some friends, and thought I'd give you a little bit of a look at the studio starting to come together. Some of you people were watching some of my live stuff today as I was renovating the studio here a little bit. And the only Rick James, hey, very cool. Nice to hear from you, Rick. Says, how's it going? Sean Zimmerman says, hey, all. So I posted a few photos today earlier on Facebook. For those that are my friends on Facebook, we got to see some of the photos of the renovations here. For those that don't follow me on Facebook, on my personal account, what I've done is I've taken two 10-foot by 20-foot photography backdrops. So I've got two of them back there to black out my entire back wall. And I'm really happy with how it's coming. Almost 12-foot tall ceilings. So I've got a lot of extra material at the bottom, which is overhang. But I'll just try to move my chair here a little bit and give you a bit of a, whoops, how can we turn the chair? There you go. Get the chair out of the way. You can see the Van Halen photos back there and everything, kind of looking nice. Got the, those are shots I took at the concert in Toronto. So the nice black and white one there, the color one over there. The gear starting to look kind of nice, coming to life. I'm really digging it. It's getting a little bit more comfortable. I'm going to be lowering the banner down a little bit. Unfortunately, I think I'm probably going to bring it down where the EVH Gear Discussion, you probably won't see the words evhgeardiscussion.com. They're probably going to be down just below the lunchbox amps there. But I find, because I want to zoom in a little bit, technically what I want to do is I want to do this, that kind of thing. I'm going to go back. I want it to be a little tighter on the frame, but for now, that's what it is. So I'm going to bring it down a little bit, but having that black, complete back wall blacked out, I really like it. And I have to give credit to where credit is due. That's from Sandra Lee from Poison Ivy. She's the one who said, let's black out that back wall. And fortunately, I got the idea from, not the idea, but how to do it, literally, because my backdrop hangers aren't that big enough, like my suspension system I have. So I took kind of some plumbing parts. I used some flanges and some, electrical conduit and stuff like that, and ran it across, and it's working really good. Put some anchors in the wall, and we're off to the races. So I'll just have a quick look over in the chat here as well and see who else has jumped in, and I'll get into some of the mail unboxing. Let me see here. Sean Zimmerman. Oh, Jared Frost is joining in as well too, and it's getting hard to keep up with the chat already, which is a good thing. John Storms. Hey man. Hello, John Storms from Storms Guitars. Take a look at John's work. Look up Storms Guitars on Facebook and Instagram and things like that as well. John's got some crazy stuff going on. Really, really good stuff. Nice to have you, John. I appreciate you joining in. And do me a favor and look that up. Bozique saying hello. Let me see here. Okay, and so I'm getting feedback already from internally in the house here saying the tighter shots are nice for sure. So I'm gonna do that again. I'm gonna come in a little tighter, and that's from our own Poison Ivy, and see if I can bring this over a little bit. That's a little bit better. So I think I am gonna have to bring the banner down considerably. Let's just try to do this for now. That gives you a little bit. That works for now. How's that look, Poison Ivy? So a little bit of a control on that. Looks a little bit better. I don't like to use zoom on these webcams because every time you zoom, webcams don't have natural zoom. Anytime you use digital zoom on any device, whether it's a camcorder or anything, it's not realistic zoom. It's not like a zoom lens on a camera. You're just magnifying. So all I just did was magnify myself, and every time you magnify with digital zoom, you add noise. I don't like to do that, but in this case, it works. Very, very soon, I'm going to be using my Nikon DSLRs and whatnot for my webcam. So that's going to look really, really nice. And I'll have multiple camera switching as well, too. Let me see here. The only Rick James says, by the way, thanks again for the talk we had on Facebook about the lunch boxes. You're very welcome. And Sandra Lee says, great. She's texting me as we speak. Thomas Santiago says, hi, Eric. U.S. American-made guitars. Hey, EB, fan and friends. Bozique says, hello. Sean Zimmerman, hey, all. Let me see. Did I miss anybody else? Let me see. Scroll back down. It goes pretty quick. John Storm saying, hey, Cole. Richard Smith, hey, Eric. Randy Clark, hello, Eric. Sean Zimmerman, hello. Hey, Sinner, how are you tonight? Let me see. Barry 3045 says, hi. Rockbiter, evening, Eric. And Rockbiter, thank you very much. I believe that was you that sent me the email last night. I haven't had a chance to reply to you yet. But yes, the ideas that you were talking about, I've been thinking about as well too. One of the things we're going to be doing back here, I'm going to be building a false stage, or like a small stage at the back, not to, okay, so someone says we've got to zoom out a little bit. Yeah, so there we go. There's a little bit more. And I'll see if I can move up a little bit. Go the opposite way. See the banner a little bit. Okay, so anyways, I'm going to be putting a false stage at the back, and I am happy with how the amp at least looks straight now. Because this is a very, very old home here. It's an 1864 home, very, very old home where we live. The floors and the house is settled, obviously, from so many years. And my amp, it was driving me absolutely crazy. It looked like the amp was on a 45-degree angle. Meanwhile, it's just the floors. So what I've done on the left-hand side of the amp, I've put a shim under that side, and it's actually leveled it out. I'm actually pretty happy with the shot. It's nice and tight that way, and it's parallel, which is good. I'm going to do the same thing as Rockbiter was saying as well too. An idea I had, and we both shared the same idea. I'm going to raise the guitars up too. I'm going to put a platform probably about anywhere between 6 inches to a foot tall, and I'll black them all out. I'll paint them flat black so they just kind of blend in with the backdrop. But I'm going to raise the guitars so you can see more of the guitars instead of just the headstocks. So that's coming along. But I'm overall really happy with how it's coming. I spent the entire day doing it today, and believe me, I'm a little tired. And there's still some messes off camera that you don't see. But I don't like to work in a messy environment. So tomorrow I'll get all that back in shape. And I got a lot of work to do tomorrow too for the business. So I got to get that back to shape right away as well too. But a lot of people were really kind of expressing some interest and comments and satisfaction what I showed today on Facebook as to how it was coming around. There's a video here on the YouTube channel as well where I showed what I was planning on doing. And Sandra Lee shot that one for me the other night. You can take a peek at that, and you can see how it's kind of evolved slowly. But I'm going to have some trussing in here soon as well, too, on either side with some really cool spotlights and stuff like that. Very, very dim, of course. So John Storm says, thanks, Eric. No problem. My pleasure. Richard Smith, hey, Sean. Rockbiter, okay, so I left off there. Yeah, so there you go. Cole says zoom up by a notch. Yep. And too close. Yeah, you don't want to get too close to this, to the gray mustache, that's for sure. Zachary Suter says, nice setup. Cole says perfect. The only Rick James says, I'd honestly love to see the 50-watt heads as a stealth version. What do you think? That'd be pretty cool. And Cole says, I would like a 50-watt EL34, and I have no need for 100 watts. Yeah, 100 watt, it can be overhead, like overkill in some cases. The thing I do like about these 100 watts, though, you can play them very quietly. You can play them bedroom level, and they still sound really good. Not too many 100-watt tube amps can you do that. Some you can, some you can't. Let me see here. Randy Clark, studio looks fantastic. Thank you, Randy. I appreciate that. And Jeff Azar, that's a very good drummer buddy of mine, Canadian buddy. And Jeff is a phenomenal musician. And I'm just getting a text message as well. Sandra Lee saying Jeff Azar is in the chat. Jeff filled in for my band for quite some time for a few different gigs. And actually, I think he filled in when we played with Thornley. He filled in when we played with Biff Naked, a Canadian recording artist. The Thornley gig was really awesome. And a few other things, but a great drummer. When I record coming up in the future, whenever I need the real drums, Jeff is going to be the guy for sure. And Jeff, we have to finish Bobblehead for sure. That was a great song, and I'll try to play that one for you guys on the air sometime soon too. Let me see. The Death Chicken says, looking good, brother. Love the dedication to this. I really appreciate that. Thanks, man. I really do appreciate that. And Darren Morris says, I want the 100 watt EL34. I want overkill. There you go. And it's funny. I have the 100 watt and I've got the 2 lunch boxes, and my amp of choice right now is the Lunchbox 2. And you guys have seen me doing a lot of videos online recently since I've got it. I've been playing it, and I've been playing with the MXR 5150 overdrive into the clean channel, and it's hard for me to get away from that. I really, really enjoy it. I've had so many emails since I've got that amp and done some demos on it, and it helps tremendously too, because EVH Gear was sharing it like mad, and people saying, what do I recommend, the 1 or the 2? And I think I did a fair comparison when I said the differences between the 1 and 2. And for those of you that are just watching now, then maybe didn't see that video, or I'll recap for somebody that did see it. Here's my take on version 1 and version 2. Version 1, the Lunchbox 1, which is, it's hard to point backwards. There it is. You can play quieter on the distortion channel, on either distortion channel, because that's all there is in that amp. You can play quieter and sound good. On the Lunchbox 2, playing on the dirty channel, it sounds fizzy at very, very low bedroom levels. Turn it up anything higher than bedroom level, and it's absolutely phenomenal. It's just a different architecture a little bit, but absolutely takes pedals beautifully through the loop. And that's probably a good question too. I don't see him over here in the chat yet, but I had a phone call just moments before I went live here, and I didn't get to it and went to voicemail. It was our regular fan Adam in the chat, and his voicemail to me was, where am I using the EP booster from Exotic? Where am I using it in the in my flow, right, or my chain of effects? And whether I'm using the 100 watt head back there or either one of the lunch boxes, I use it in the loop. Now that's my favorite spot so far. However, I'm not 100% sold that's where I'm going to leave it. I'm not sure. I put it in the loop just before my delay pedals, but it is in the loop. And I do also like it last in the chain, running to the front of the amplifier. There's obviously a more significant boost running through the loop, and I don't even put my gain on anything. It's just at its nominal gain, like 0 whatever, and it does give a substantial boost. And I think he did ask me as well too on the phone call. He said, do I change any of the dip switches? There's internal dip switches on there too, gains and things like that. And no, I didn't even take the back off the pedal. So it's whatever it comes default from the factory, that's what I tend to like it at. So that's gonna be pretty cool. Let me see here. Rockbiter says maybe you can use the old curtain to cover the back risers. The rack risers. Yes, exactly. That's what I'm going to do. And I'll paint them flat black first of all as well too. But if I need to hide them at all, I'll use the other the backdrop that I had. Let me see here. Bag Cereals. I received the gift prize today. Picks tomorrow. Fantastic. That's great. I assume that's one from Peter Gusmano. I think so. Very, very cool. Good. And no problem. Bag Cereals says thanks again. My pleasure. Cool as all. Laugh out loud, Darren. That would be cool, no doubt. Jeff Azar says, you agreed. You have my sticks, bro. Proud of all your hard work. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Phenomenal. Jeff, comment down below too. Do you have any of your stuff on YouTube as far as like your rock stuff on YouTube? If you do, post your link, please and thanks, because I want people to check you out. Jeff, the one thing I always remembered of Jeff was he was a big Dream Theater fan. And I mean, one of the only guys around here that I could see doing Mike Portnoy stuff like, Justice, for sure. Phenomenal drummer, Rush stuff as well too. But if you do, please post your link. You're free to post it as long as the chat will take it, which I think it will. And I'd like people to check out your stuff. Let me see here. Cool Zell, what do you mean, Rick James? Darren Moore says, okay, it's going to happen. Bag Cereal says, Peter Gusmano hooked me up. The pedal will get used on my board. He sent a CD and some guitar picks as well. So awesome. Grateful. I think you won the Shimmer pedal. Is that correct? That's a really cool pedal, for sure. So speaking of things in the mail, I got a package in the mail today from a friend, a good friend, and also a former show guest, Gustavo Gonzalez from Florida. And so he sent this in to me today. I'm going to have a peek. And this week's probably going to be a few different live broadcasts because I've got a lot of stuff coming in this week. I've got some Facebook messages from friends this week. They're sending me a bunch of stuff. Kevin Landorf is one of them. He's got a package on its way to me. I've got a package coming in from Strymon, and that's the final missing piece of the puzzle for this big pedal board project that I've been talking about. So I've got the Strymon OJ coming in, and that's going to be hooked up. Then I can start filming this big video on the pedal board project. I've got a big order coming in from my sponsor, Van Halen Store, so I'll do an unboxing of that one. I've got some more shock mounts for the microphone. That's coming in from Amazon. What else we got coming in? I know there's little Eric's got some stuff coming in. He's waiting on. This is messy. You got to watch this. These are those bubble wrap things. You got, if you open up the wrong way, you get that powder dust in there. Trying to think what else is coming in. I know there's more coming in as well too. Oh, we have some stuff from Jody at Peddle Snake as well that's coming in. So there's going to be lots of unboxings. So this is from Gustavo Gonzalez, and he's from the band Trip Machine. Ooh, you really got to be careful opening these things because there's like this powdery stuff inside. Okay, so let's see what we got here. Trip Machine. This is very cool. The first trip, I'm going to take it off the cellophane here. This is great. And go back and look after the show's over tonight, this brief broadcast. Go back and look at the interview, not interview, the episode I did with Gustavo. He was showing he had just received a brand new, new old stock or a used PV Wolfgang USA, beautiful, beautiful ivory one, just looked beautiful. And he has a Relic EVH gear version of that guitar as well too. So very nice packaging. Trip Machine, the first trip. I really like it. Some cool shots. There's Gustavo there. If I can point to, I'll try to bring up a little closer. Very, very nice. Great band. I think 2 guitar players in that band. And on the back, from Gustavo Gonzalez to my good friend Eric Broadbent. I'm not sure what that says there. Erojade or something. Enjoy or something. I'm not sure. I can't quite make that out. But some cool shots in the back as well. Look at that. Awesome. I got a bunch of CDs. I've had a bunch of CDs from friends come in. Just last week I had... from Richard Beardsley from over there in the UK. I still got to put these on the iPod. I haven't had a chance to rip them yet, but got 2 CDs, and one of them was produced by Jay Parmer as well too. So getting some beautiful, beautiful music. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to leave them all out here right now so I can get them ripped for the morning and put them on the iPod, get them in the car in the Camaro. This is nice. Actually, this is really nice. I like this. Good job on this, guys. Really, really nice. Let's have a look. I'm definitely into space stuff. I never talk about this. I'm actually, as a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. I was totally into the space shuttle. I got to meet Jack Losma, who was one of the, I'm trying to think of space shuttle, not Challenger. I forget which space shuttle it was, but he was one of the pilots of the space shuttle. Got to meet him in person at the Jackson Space Center and got his autograph as a young kid. That was pretty cool. I was really into space stuff. Still am. That's why I like all that Steve Stevens stuff with those Nags guitars with the space motif on them. But this is really, really good. That's what I was getting at. It's a very, very nice decor. I can't wait to get this on the iPod. Thanks a lot, Gustavo. I really appreciate that. Let's jump back over to the chat just for a second. Let's see here. Where did I leave off? And Jeff Azar says, thanks, he'll post soon. Michael Bishop, hello all. Your work looks good. Thank you. Appreciate that. And John Storms, he just giggled with that Wolfgang, or he just giggled. I said he giggled. He gigged with that Wolfgang last week. Yes, I've been watching his post. It's fantastic. Love it. And there's Adam. Adam, I'm not sure if you heard me mention earlier. I got your voicemail and I tried to answer your question here on the air. So you can go back and watch it again, and I'll give you a shout as well too. And I'll resend you my email address as well too. If anyone wants to send me, people have been sending me stuff to unbox on here all the time. I just haven't publicly posted my post office box yet, and no reason why I won't. It's just I'm a little shy still. Send me an email to fanmail@evhgeardiscussion.com, and I'll be more than happy to send you my post office box if you want to send stuff. Whatever goodies you want to send this way, I'll be more than happy to open on the air. And certainly not only thank you, but credit you for it and everything as well too. Jared Frost says, just bought a Strike PV5150 412 cab, wet dry using 2 heads and 2 412 cab coming soon. Fantastic. Is that bunch that was on Guitar Center? I think Sean Huddleston got one as well too. Very, very cool. And Adam says, backdrop is great new look. And thanks, buddy. And thumbs up, he says. Something else that's very cool here too. I just had it in my hand just because I was moving it around. On Dave Nesdall and Johnny Bean's show a couple nights back, I jumped in, just kind of said hi in the chat, and the topic had come up about something as an alternative to Velcro for your pedals, right? And I had mentioned in the chat, a couple of people, one person had commented and said it was Loctite, and Loctite is something more that you use for nuts and bolts where you want to put that on and you don't want the nut to come off. This is the stuff that I was talking about, and Dave Nesdall had agreed with me. It's called Dynalock. I'm trying to show you this stuff. I'm just showing you because I have it here in my hands. This stuff, it's like a plastic material, and it's obviously adhesive on the back. You know, it's double-sided, and this stuff is 100 times stronger than Velcro, and that's what I'm going to be using on my new Idea Bench board. Very anxious to start cutting this stuff up and putting it on there, but it is a plastic material. And one thing you'll notice with Velcro over the years, it's not like you take your pedals on and off the pedal board. However, that stuff that does wear off. You get the fuzz rips off the other side, and then the Velcro's not sticky. You only got a couple pieces hanging on. This stuff is phenomenal, and I was turned on to this stuff by Rick at Idea Bench. He says we can send you your board with two different configurations. We can either send you Velcro or we can send you the Dynalock. And after he told me about Dynalock, I said, you know what? Let's go for it. And I'll have to show you something here too in a moment. I might actually, I'm going to be getting rid of my old pedal board rig here soon too. And I think if anyone wants to make me an offer on it, I'll tell you what I'd like to get for it. Unfortunately, shipping is probably going to be expensive because it's heavy. Give me one moment here. I'm going to go over to my Be Right Back screen, and I'm going to show you my old pedal board. And the rack case alone is probably worth it. But give me 1 second. I'll show you my old board. Let's see if I can get this right back. 10 seconds, 15 seconds. I'll be right back.
Thank you for watching EVH Gear Discussion. We'll be right back. Please be sure to subscribe. Thank you for watching EVH Gear Discussion. We'll be...
All right, so I lied. Maybe about 25 seconds. All right, so what it is, this is actually pretty cool. And this board has been with me for... I started the Finding Core band in 2000, and I think I got this around... Well, actually, I've had this rack case for several years before. Actually, I got this rack case when I was in 5150, the Van Halen tribute band. It's a very funny story. So here's the case. It's probably around 25. It's a nice, what is it, an Anvil or Tough case from London, Ontario. They make really good road cases. Very heavy duty. All right. And I'm not a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. I am not a fan of the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's just, it was on there when I got it. Comes with it. I definitely am a fan of Pedal Snake. There's no doubt about that. Very, very heavy duty case. So here's what it looks like inside. And this was my homemade pedal board. I was given this case by Mark, the keyboard player from 5150, and I think he knew I was mad at him one time. We were playing a gig, and it was my turn. I was doing, obviously in the Van Halen tribute band, and it was my turn to do the Eruption guitar solo in the middle, whatever. And, being a tribute band, we were taken care of quite well on, from the bars and all the beer you can drink and all that kind of stuff on stage. And we had probably like a 5-gallon pail of ice and a whole bunch of beers in this thing, whatever. And this is back in the day when you're using power cans for lights. They're very, very hot. You're, hundreds of degrees of heat on the stage. So, the bands are drinking their beers and everything on stage, whatever. And eventually all the ice melts. And now you've got a 5-gallon pail of water. Literally, it's almost like a 5-gallon pail of water. And I'm doing my guitar solo, and he thought it'd be really cute to come over from behind me and dump the 5-gallon pail of water over my head. And it shorted out my pedals. It shorted out everything. And I was like, I was going to kill him. And I think he felt bad after. And this was a case for like a mini Moog or something of the sort. And, and actually I'm just getting a text message too. Sandra's saying if they click on Jeff's picture, they can go to his channel and subscribe. Very good idea. Very good idea. So click on Jeff Azar's channel, go have a look at his music stuff. So he gave me this case, just probably so I didn't kill him. And we're very, very good friends to this day. But it was a gesture to, just a friendly gesture. All right, so I'm going to try to open up the board. It's a very cheap, simple board. I mean, if anybody wants to buy this, the case alone is worth it for cables and stuff like that. So it's just a plywood board. Okay, about 22 inches wide. It's like, well, not ply. Yeah, I guess there's ply. And then I've got carpeting on here as well, too. So Velcro will stick to that very, very well. There's handles on the side. And this was a board that served me for over a decade, easily. Well over almost 2 decades, for that matter. And it fits right inside this road case. The only thing is, anybody wants to buy it, the shipping's probably going to be expensive because it's somewhat heavy. But I don't want to keep it around here anymore. I want to get a couple bucks for it just because I hate to see it go away for nothing. But anyone's interested, let me know what you're interested in for. I'd like to try to get around $50 or more for it, if that's somewhat fair. Let me know your thoughts on that. We'll go back to the chat for a quick second and see what's happening over there as well too. Let me see here. 3M make John Storm says 3M makes an identical product you can get at any hardware store. Is that what they call it too, John? Do they call it a Dynalock? Because I'm not sure, and I'd like to have a look at that as well too. I didn't know that there was another company making it as well too. And this one doesn't even say like Dynalock or anything on it. I think that's maybe just like probably the style. It's probably not necessarily the brand. And Adam says, let the bidding start, folks. I have to say that that pedal board's been around some famous bands, that's for sure. I mean, Great White, Quiet Riot. Oh, geez, who else? Ian Thornley from the Thornley Band. The Trues. Sandra Lee can probably comment on a few more. Jeff Azar can comment on a few more. Biff Naked. Oh man, there's been a lot of famous bands that board's been around on the same stages, that's for sure. I'm trying to think who else. Let's go back and have a look and see what else I miss here. Okay, so yeah, Jeff Azar saying I wouldn't let him post a web address, but anyone can search Jeff Azar, and apparently they can click on your thumbnail and get to you as well too. Let me see here. And Darren Moore says, you don't want Severed Horsehead sent to you. Maybe you will take that risk when you hit 1 million subs. I'm getting close to 3,000. I'll be happy with that. And speaking of 3,000, a big shout out to a lot of our mutual friend, Jay Palmer, guitarist and producer. And he was on the show here a while back too. He just hit 3,000 on his YouTube. So Jay, congrats. I know you're not watching right now, but I know you may check this out later. So congrats on that 3,000 sub mark. That's very, very awesome. Very proud of you. He does lynch licks and all that kind of stuff. Very, very awesome. Proud of all my fellow YouTubers out there for sure and friends. And Quentin James says you're getting a lot of glare on the EVH picture on the right hand side. Yeah, that's coming off my monitors. If actually it's off that monitor to my left here. If I was to kill some of this, it wouldn't be as bad. And there's I've got 3 screens open here. Actually 4, 3 on the Mac, 1 on the PC over here. And there's some things I have to do here as well yet to take it to the next level. We're getting there slowly. But yeah, thank you, Quentin. I understand that. Let me see here. That's a good industrial snap lock material. That's what John's is saying. Okay, good. Thanks, John. Jared Frost, Guitar Center has a bunch of them online. Let me see here. And Citizen Kane says you will need a crowbar to separate that Dynalock. That's good to know, because once I put my pedals on the board, they're not coming off. And I'm not geeking out anymore. This is strictly here in the studio, but I want them to stay on there and they're not coming off. So, and I've got my pedals now that are my favorite, so I definitely won't be switching those around. Let me see here. Sean Zimmerman's back at the hospital, kidney infection. So Sean, I know you've been really struggling with your health as of late. I really hope everything gets better for you. And I know all of us here in the family, and when I say family, the EVH Gear Discussion family, the EVH family, everyone in the Van Halen circle from all the different channels, from Johnny's channel and Dave's channel, and just everyone in the Van Halen community, I know we all pull for you and wish you the best for sure. Let me see here. Darren Moore, I will have to check back soon. Jared, let the bidding start. He was joking on you. And let's scroll down a little bit more here as well. John was talking about the 3M products. And okay, so Jeff has to take off. Jeff, the drummer, and definitely want to check him out for sure. Jeff was when I was doing this. Actually, how I met Jeff. He was in a band from the Windsor, Ontario area, kind of close to me, from Citizen Erased. And a phenomenal band. And I actually was doing, I used to write a music column. It was called Rock Shop for the local paper. And it was basically my music column on anything that was happening with music and that. And the singer, Justin, was really, really cool. And one thing I really enjoyed watching this band, it was the singer that got my attention first, is because he was controlling all his own effects. I forget what he was using on stage. Just some very simple pedal type effects, but he was controlling his own vocals. And so that really won my attention over quickly. Got to know the band, got to be friends with the band. And then, a couple years later, the drummer was in my band, and it was great. A phenomenal drummer. Go back later on if you get just for some fun. Dig back on the archives here on the EVH Gear Discussion channel and look for Finding Core covering Show Me How to Live by Audio Slave. Now, we've got 2 different drummers, but you'll look at Jeff Azar. You'll see him. He almost looks like Mike Portnoy a little bit. He's got that look, and he definitely plays like him. And we did a pretty good, that was our signature cover, Show Me How to Live by Audio Slave. And the singer we had at the time had some serious pipes. He could really, really cover it. Every band that does covers and things like that has a signature. Even original bands that do a cover, they have a signature one, right? That's their signature. And I have to say, Show Me How to Live by Autosave was definitely our forte. And we did a couple other ones that were pretty cool too. We did, when we had our newest and last singer, there's a good version on the channel here as well of Bodies, Let the Bodies Hit the Floor. And we did a pretty good version of that one as well too. And that's when I had the stupid long hair, and I'm playing the PRS on that one. But I think it was a pretty good rendition of that song as well. Let me see here. Adam says to do a giveaway contest for guys who need one. you know what? That's not a bad idea. I know shipping will be stupid on this one, but you know what? Maybe we'll save that for a rainy day. Let me know if there's any interest in buying it. If not, maybe we'll save it for a rainy day for a contest giveaway. It's definitely a good board. It's just now I've been spoiled with the people at Idea Bench and /Peddle Snake /Strymon, and I'm very, very thankful for that. So it's kind of cool, but a very, very good idea, Adam. Is there any more EVH products on the horizon? Not guitars. There's always new products on the horizon for sure. We'll probably get some hints of that at Summer NAMM, even though EVH and Fender doesn't do much at Summer NAMM. I think we'll see some interest, some new stuff coming. We just have to wait and see. It's always worth waiting for EVH, for sure. Trust me on that. I'm not at liberty to say, nor do I even have a lot of information to give you. A lot of times, you guys know just as much as I do. Being an EVH endorsed artist doesn't necessarily mean I have the for your eyes only type thing. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. In this case, I don't, and I'll be very honest. I'm not going to BS and say, hint, I know what's coming, because I don't. But trust me, it's always worth the wait. Let me see here. Stan Muka says 3M at Home Depot has similar pedal plastic lock stuff that I've used in the past. Okay, good to know. And I whatever it's called, in this case, it's called Dynalock, or the 3M stuff, as both Stan and John Storms has pointed out. I really encourage you to check it out, because I think it's a better alternative to Velcro. It's I don't know the difference in the manufacturing process. I just like the fact that it's not the cloth on plastic type of stuff. It's plastic type of thing. It's very, very cool that way. And I'll be the first one to tell you how I like it too when I get the pedals on there, because some of my pedals are quite heavy, and we're anxious to see how that will work. And Quentin James says, one thumbs down, really? Hey, we're just getting started. Oh, no, there's two thumbs down. The evening is very young. I usually just wait. We're not warmed up until we get 6, 8, 10 thumbs down. So it's all good. Those people don't matter anyways. Let me see here. So Sean says, thanks, Eric. That means a lot. Really, it does. Adam says, Eric, I'm up late in case you want to call. I work late like you do, and that's not an issue, or whenever it suits you. Thanks in advance. No problem. Jaden James, how you doing, buddy? Is joining as well. Craig Guitar Wannabe says, good evening all. And since I've got Craig here as well, and there's a couple other guitar players that I've mentioned this to as well in the chat and that frequently watch the show, I'm going to be hosting a free-for-all guitar jam in the very, very near future. And it's probably going to become a series, because there's a lot of good guitar players. There's a lot of good guitar players in this chat right now, more so than I can even facilitate in one particular session. But I can probably do a session of 6 musicians at a time. We're all going to get together, and I'll bring everybody in through my system here, and we're going to do some jamming, some rhythm leads, all that kind of stuff live on the air. That'll be fun. I want Craig for sure. Just off the top of my head, I'm just going to, please, if I've missed anyone, does not mean I don't want you to be part of this. I'm just going to throw some ideas at my initial first round. Craig for sure, Jared Frost for sure, Darren Moore for sure. There's a lot of guys in here as well, and Adam, and anybody that wants to join in, we'll probably do them, like I say, in sessions of 6. And when I say 6, that means 5 guitar players plus me for a total of 6. And maybe we'll work in some drums. Maybe like electronic drums would probably be better and more controllable. We'll need everyone to have a good interface to be able to send me your signal, and a very good internet connection. And then we'll maybe get some bass players. Who knows? Maybe down the road we can get some singers. But we're going to do some really, really cool stuff here. And you'll definitely, won't necessarily be a first on YouTube by any means. But in this community, I think it's going to be something very unique. And I'm always trying to try new ideas and stuff like that. So we'll be looking forward to having you guys take part in that. It'd be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. And I'll be more than happy to lay down some rhythm chops while you guys wail away on some solos too. Let me see here. So Adam's saying hi to Poison. Let me see here. And good question, Quentin. He says 2 thumbs down. I really wish that people would explain the thumbs down. What don't they like? The thing is, and I was talking to a customer today too. A lot of times what I do, if I'm watching videos on YouTube or Facebook or things like that, YouTube especially, it's easier, right? Because you can thumbs down. I tend to not either I never leave a bad comment like you suck, and I never thumb it down. If I don't like it, I just move on to the next. Like, here's a good example. The other day I'm searching for this, do-it-yourself stuff to hang up all my backdrop stuff, like the plumbing material that I had, and I found 3 or 4 videos. And let's say 2 out of the videos I didn't like. They were stupid. They didn't help me at all. They weren't informative. I could have said thumbs down and you suck. This was the worst. Why waste my time? However, I just went to the next. I found one and I found the solution. It told me what kind of parts I needed to buy. I thumbed it up and I actually commented, said this was a great help to me. Thank you very much. But I'm not one to post negative. And here again, talking to my client today, who's a series of restaurant owners. I also say I'm not the type person when I'm at a restaurant, if I get bad food, trust me, I've gone to some restaurants where I'll take the first bite, the smell of the food is bad, let alone the first bite. And I'll actually, instead of insulting the waitress or the waiter and the owner of the place, I'll just put my napkin on the food and I'll say, oh, you know what, I'm sorry, I'm full. And am I being a wimp by doing that? No, I just respect the people. There's a lot of people involved, right? And there's just wait staff, it's not their fault. And I'd rather just not leave any feedback as opposed to leaving bad feedback. So what am I getting at? I really don't care. I do what I do for several reasons. One, I love doing this thing. I love doing YouTube. It's one of my biggest passions. It's just as powerful and to me as playing guitar, playing in front of people. I honestly enjoy it more doing this than I did playing in the band because I'm getting more people watching the show now, better interaction as we can see in the chat. Instead of saying, play taking care of business one more time, you know what I mean? It's whatever. I'd much rather do this. It's a lot of fun. So don't worry, Quentin. It's all good. It's, you know what? And like I tell the boy too, one thumbs up is better than 1,000 thumbs down. There's trolls, right? They just live under the little bridges and they can stay there. It's all good. So like Adam says, hope you sell it though. Money is always nice for more gear. And Sean Zimmerman says, I saw a Patriot sing Let the Body. Parrot. Patriot? I think he meant Parrot. It was funny listening to him scream. Yeah, we were watching some really cute bird videos just moments ago before going live. And there's a couple good bird videos out there singing Let the Bodies hit the floor. Absolutely hilarious. And we were watching one video where these parrots were using some pretty foul, is that the right, is that a pun? Foul language. It was really, really funny. And like we say too, you get a bird that can talk, what's the first thing you do? You teach it how to swear. I mean, I'm sure we've all been there. I haven't had a talking bird, but if I had a talking bird, I might have it say one little blue word or something just for fun. Then my buddies come over, listen, hee hee hee, and you laugh when the bird swears. It's all fun. So let me see here. Adam says, Sean, listen to Eric's band Rip That Tune. It's sick. So if that's the one you're talking about, Bodies, that was fun for sure. I really enjoyed playing that one. And one thing that was really cool, the bass player we had at that time, he had a really, really cool tone for that. He was running USA Spectre basses. He had this one that was a 6-string bass, beautiful Spectre bass. It was so cool that when we had played with Quiet Riot, Chuck, the bassist in Quiet Riot, he'd seen it from across the room, and he come over and said, because he had one like it, he said, would you mind if I played that bass? And he picked up and was playing it, whatever. Very, very, what's a word I'm looking for? Staccato, very bright tone with Ampeg 810, all tube and everything, and just this Spectre through it, just active pickups and everything. It just sounded beautiful for the Drowning Pool type sound. It was amazing, really, really nice. Let me see here. Let the body system flow. Rick James says, give Eric that thumbs up, guys. It helps. Thanks. It does. I appreciate that. There's lots of thumbs up. We have 21 thumbs up and 31 watching. That's fantastic for a Tuesday night when I really don't do these things on Tuesday. I don't have anything coming up until Wednesday, but there's probably, like I said earlier, probably going to be a hypocrite by saying that. I've got some more mail unboxings, packages coming in this week. So as Postman delivers, I'll be live. Let me see here. It's still views. That's right. Excuse me. Darren Moore says, EVH Gear should release a delay pedal or unit. Give it blue, white, and black stripes and have MXR produce it. A delay pedal would be very, very cool. Have a kind of a one-button push for your cathedral sound would be phenomenal. Just like you have on the Unchained and things like that as well with the flanger. So that'd be very, very cool. I think it'd be the nicest next step from that lineup as well, from the signature EVH pedal brand for sure. Let me see here. Poison Ivy's thumbs up. Let me see. And only Rick James says, I love to watch the streams. I watch every live stream unless I don't have to work. I love them. And me too. We were just talking about this earlier, and I was talking about it as well too with my customer today, my client. And again, he's a restaurant owner, and I love it as well too. There's a couple TV shows that I like to watch, and really, I'll say too, I love watching The Walking Dead. I watch it religiously. People that know me personally know that that's a big part of my life. And one of my other favorite shows is Better Call Saul. Looking forward to that one coming up. I do like the Game of Thrones, like the next guy, but Walking Dead and Better Call Saul are like religion to me. I love them. Other than that, I mean, even God forbid, I hate to get flamed for saying this, but even if, those shows went off the air, life will go on for me. But these YouTube things, and I'm not saying my show by any means, I'm saying YouTube shows. There's a lot of reality TV that I watch on YouTube, and I get a lot of that from Eric Jr., mostly. And then now too with Poison Ivy, a lot of times late at night we're watching her iPad upstairs just because it's right beside the bed. It's right close, and we're watching. And she watches a lot of these, she'll correct me if I'm wrong, like homesteaders and things like that. People that basically, they'll quit their jobs and they'll live off their land. And they almost go back to like some of the old, back in the old days, where, it was a barter system. I'll trade you a couple cows for some lumber to, fence my yard and things like that. And these people have just husband and wife and kids, or kids are all working out on the land, having fun, and a couple 100,000 subscribers. We watch a lot of that stuff. She watches more than me, but I like to watch it with her from time to time. A lot of the planting things, because Sandra is a green thumb, so planting all kinds of, she's doing asparagus right now and all kinds of these crazy peppers, like the ones that are like raised in an insane asylum. Those kind of things, we're growing those kind of peppers. You get a sunburn looking at them. So tomatoes, she's growing all that kind of stuff. I'm trying to think. She'll probably comment in the chat as well too, some of the other things that she watches. But I guess long story short, YouTube is the freaking best. And you have a plumbing problem, you go on YouTube. How do I fix a leak in my sink? And a lot of us aren't the do-it-yourselfers, or I shouldn't say that, the handymen or handy women, whatever. A lot of us can't do that kind of stuff, and it saves you a heck of a lot of money than hiring somebody. I'm not trying to take away money from the professions that out there, but some people can't afford it. YouTube has a lot of answers for you. You might have to search a little bit. But what I do a lot of times too is we stream a lot of our content online. We have movies on the boxes in different rooms and stuff like that. And I'll go onto different YouTube videos. If I don't have time to watch them, if I'll take a quick peek at it and I realize I think this video is going to be very helpful, I'll download the YouTube video. I'll throw them on the box and I'll watch them on a rainy day. Sometimes if I'm learning a new piece of software or a new program, or maybe how to do some kind of construction or something of that sort, I'll save all these videos and I'll just be sitting on the couch and I know you could just go back on YouTube again as well too, but a lot of these videos have replay value. You go back over and you learn some more things. So I download a lot of YouTube videos as well too. Long story short, YouTube is a very, very good resource. Let me see here. Eric should make wraps with the logo. Cool idea. So where was it? I missed that. I'm not sure what you meant with that, but I probably missed something. So that's okay. It wouldn't be the first time I missed something for sure. So Sean Zimmerman sounds awesome. I'm up for it, Eric, but I'm nowhere near as good as the others mentioned. Darren, actually, Darren is a phenomenal guitar player, and he's selling himself short here, which is cool, and I respect that. He's a humble dude, but he's a phenomenal player, and you will be involved for sure. And Sinner is going to be our bass player for you. He can play guitar very well too, but I think he's really enjoying the bass. So if that's your forte for that, Sinner, I want to have you do some bass. Let me see here. If you don't like the video, don't put a thumbs down. You just leave and watch another video. That's from Zachary Suter. Yeah, very, very good point. And that's coming from a younger, probably one of our youngest viewers in the chat right now, Zachary. And that's a very good attitude, Zach. That's very, very cool. Let me see here. Classy people keep their negative comments to themselves. That's from Adam. And you know what? That's something, my mom didn't coin this phrase. Your moms have said it and their moms have said it. But it's one thing that I try, and I fray from that sometimes. But if you don't have anything good to say, just don't say it. I mean, you know what I mean? Just keep it to yourself. Unfortunately, a lot of adults can't be that way, so they just didn't have the moms like we have, I guess. So Poison Ivy's agreeing with that as well too. And Randy Clark saying that'd be awesome. Live jams would be amazing. Speaking of live jams, this is really exciting to me as well too. You've noticed a few times now on the show here. I've had a couple guests that were performing, and it's just started with Jay Parmer. When Jay Parmer was on, First of all, I really enjoyed that episode. He was very enlightening. I think all the guests on the show are very enlightening. I learned a lot from all of them, but Jay was very cool. Jay's kind of into meditation and things like that, and just he's a very, very positive person. And I think just being around him makes you feel good, and that's a very, very cool thing. So I was trying to pick his brain about just letting things go and meditation and stress relief and things like that. But he did perform on the show, and it sounded really, really good. A couple episodes later, Jamie Humphreys from Lick Library, and is from playing with Brian May and people like that. He's actually on another We Will Rock You tour over there in Europe right now. He got to do a couple of Van Halen style boogies on the show, and I think they were phenomenal. They went over really, really well with the fans. So I'm having guests perform a lot now. I'm going to have some guests, some of the celebrities actually teach us how to play some of their signature riffs. And one that's coming up right away, I'm very excited. I just sent off the email just before going live. George Pahone Jr., he was on the show a while back last year, probably mid-year last year, in the fall of last year. A lot of people know George as a guitar player from Black Eyed Peas. Great guy. And now with his project that he's putting a lot of stock into is Cairo Knife Fight. Their first single, I believe, is dropping April 1st, which is coming up right around the corner. And George was very excited to come back on the show. And he told me he was excited to come back on the show. And he's going to be performing on the show. So put that, I'll let you know the minute that I have confirmation. I'm going to be opening up a special day for him to do that. But I mean, of course, when George Pahone says, yeah, I'll come on the show and I'll perform, I make that happen. I'll make that happen. I don't care where I'm at, it's going to happen. So you expect that a lot with a lot of the guests. I want to get Steve Stevens back on here after his European tour is done as well too. Steve's been on the show twice, and now I want Steve to perform on the show. Working on a lot of these different guests. Robert Baker's coming up as well, and I'm sure it won't take too much to twist Robert Baker's arm to do some performing. Jim Clark from over in the UK is coming on. Get him to perform. So long story short, so this thing, everyone that's coming on, I'm going to do my best to make sure all of them do a little bit of performance for you and really treat you to what they do best. Get Liquid Charlie back on here soon as well too. Get him to perform. So expect another staple like that to happen on the show, and I'll be doing some as well too. I do. I'll be doing that from time to time too. Let me see here. Quentin James is exactly well said. Let me see here. And Quentin James says, I'm number 19. Is that for the thumbs up or something? I'm not sure. Let me see here. Feel the same way, Eric. Oh, Surf Cat Matt says, whoa, I'm late. No problem, Surf Cat Matt. You can jump back and watch a replay later on. Just a real simple, this is more of just a informal hang tonight. I opened up some mail earlier and showed a little bit of the new studio look, things like that. Still not to where I'm 100% happy with it, but it's coming. I really hurt myself today too in here. I was twisting all over like a contortionist today, hooking stuff up and that, and I'm a little sore and tired, but no better place to hang out and recuperate than with friends and family here. So let me see here. Scroll down a little bit. Love the 6-man band idea, Eric. That's from Rockbiter. Yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. And there's no reason why I can't do more, but I think 6 is going to be the resource limit, and that's probably going to be stressing it to the max. But I think we'll go with the six guest. And Citizen Kane says play Freebird. Yeah, that'd be hilarious. Let's play Freebird and Taking Care of Business, our very first episode, and then we'll gravitate up to Flight of the Bumblebee after a few episodes. And Surf Cat says, hope I didn't miss too much. No, I don't think you missed too much. Just you can, and more, it's just conversation in the chat. Nothing really formal tonight. It's a Tuesday. But I mean, I certainly can't complain. 32 people watching on a Tuesday night. Love it. Let me see here. Trip Machine. Hey, Eric, how are you? Did you get the Trip Machine album? Yeah, so that is Gustavo. He's joining in late here, so I'm going to show it again. And so a few other people are joining in late. Yes, I did. Gustavo, thank you very much. Gustavo Gonzalez sent me this from Florida. Trying to get the angle where you don't get all the reflection. There we go. That's a nice shot of it there. Very, very nice seat. I'm just going to show it again for the people that are just joining in now. Yeah, I love it. I totally love it. Anything in space, you got me on that one, man. Awesome. Yes, I did, Gustavo. Thank you very, very much. I've got 3 CDs here now. I have to rip to the iPod and get that on there. And I'm going to be doing some traveling this week, so it'll be some great material to listen to in the car. Right now, I'm listening again and over and over and over again in the car, listening to Greg Renoff's Van Halen Rising. I already read the book, but I love to be read too, because I tend to just drift off when I read. Someone reads to me, it's great. So I'm going to listen to that, but I can also take a break and listen to some music now, which will be great. So thank you very, very much for that. I appreciate that. Let me see here. And Adam says, Surfcat, I missed it too. My notifications were late again. Yeah, it's really weird. Some people are subscribed and they click the bell and everything. They get the notifications. Other people, they don't. So Follow closely on Facebook. That's probably the safest way to do it, because I always try to at least post on Facebook that I'm going live. Sometimes it is very short notice, and if you can't make it, my feelings will never be hurt. Trust me. The fact that you even come to the channel is a blessing, and I'm very thankful for that. So I won't. My feelings will never be hurt if you don't catch a live show. I do appreciate you joining whenever you can, though. And there's always replay, which is nice. The live thing is cool because you can talk to your friends here in the chat as well. So that's the advantage of live. But no problem. And how's your new amp going? Sound good, right? And he's asking me about the lunchbox. Absolutely love the new lunchbox too. My favorite amp to date from the EVH Gear brand, Umbrella. I totally love it. I think they really hit it out of the park with that one. Love it. So Adam says, bought an EP booster as per Eric's recommendation, and he's ecstatic. Fantastic. I'm glad you like that. It was very, very nice. I did a demo for the folks at Exotic a while back. It's on the channel here as well, demo and review. And I played clean. I played through the distortion channel. Then I also played with a distortion pedal, overdrive pedal. Let's use the correct terms. Even though those 5150 overdrives are like a distortion pedal, in my opinion. Got to use the correct terms. And I think the EP booster was I called it the secret sauce, the mojo. If everyone needs a mojo pedal on the board, in my opinion, that's the mojo. So thanks, Adam. I appreciate that. Let me see here. Bought an EP booster. That's what I just said. And let me see here. I love the show and the podcast. So Surfcat Matt saying, I love the show and the podcast. Good stuff and great group. Thank you. I appreciate that. The podcast on iTunes I did another episode the other day. For those of you that haven't caught it, I encourage you to check it out. And I'll tell you for 2 reasons. One, it's just me giving just some freebies your way. Number one, as guitar players or musicians, we've all come into some ruts and are playing, like you watch somebody else that's better than you and you get depressed, or, sometimes it really inspires you. Sometimes it makes you want to sell your guitars. No matter what it is, sometimes you get in a rut. You just don't feel like you're improving. So on my latest podcast episode, it's called 5 Tips for Getting Out of Guitar Rut. And I go through 5 tips, and I even give 2 bonus tips that have really worked for me over the years. And I've been in some ruts. I haven't necessarily been in one lately, but I know there's going to be days coming up that there's going to be more ruts. You get stuck just like you do in your car if you're not driving on the right roads. And so I gave some tips on the podcast. I also talk about the Van Halen rumors of the Sammy talking about doing the Sam and Dave thing and thoughts like that. And I gave my perfect analogy. I shouldn't say the perfect analogy, my perfect world of the analogy, if that makes any sense. I don't want to sound like I'm trying to give like this is the way it's going to be. I mean, what would be perfect to me? Here's how I would like it to go. And I could give you all that right now. I'd like you to go listen to the podcast. I think you'll enjoy it. I said, here's A, B, and C, how I'd like it to go. And here's the extra D if, we're granted that extra little bonus. And I'm definitely going to be in line waiting for tickets if that happens. So check it out. It's on iTunes. You can just go to iTunes and search EVH Gear or EVH Gear Discussion. You'll find it guaranteed. Or else you can just go to the website, evhgeardiscussion.com, and there's a humongous graphic, probably the size of that banner back there on the front of the website. It says iTunes, and it'll get you there as well, too. I don't do it as religiously or as regimented as I do the talk show here, but it's, people asked for it. It wasn't me that said, hey, let's go do this. I can get my voice on another channel. People said, have you ever thought about doing a podcast so I can take the material with you on the road? And not have to kill bandwidth and things like that listening to a YouTube video, because it does take a lot of bandwidth. I encourage you to be careful with that, because if you have a bad cell phone plan like I do, you go over your plan and watching a couple of videos. So iTunes is where it's at for sure. Download it at home on Wi-Fi. You're in your car, whatever. It's not going to take any of your bandwidth anymore. It's local on your device. Let me see here. So that was the EP booster. This is a good question, and maybe some people can give a better answer to this one. This is for Patrick Williams. Says, what's better to get the EVH Classic tone, a 5153S or a Bray 4550? I honestly don't know much about the Bray, and I'm going to make it even clearer. I don't know anything about the Bray. So anyone that has some knowledge on the Bray, please comment. John Storms, any of these guys here as well. If any of you guys have knowledge on the Bray, please you feel free to address that question, because I don't know. And that's one thing you can expect to come from me. Always, if I don't know, I'm not going to BS it. I'm just going to say, I don't know. I'd rather say that, and then I'll learn from you guys, whoever answers it in the chat. And this is nice to hear as well, too. Trip Machine, this is Gustavo saying, Jody from Peddle Snake is manufacturing my custom snake. Can't wait for it. And you know what? I actually have mine here. I can show it, since he's mentioned that. And Gustavo is getting one very similar to mine. So I've been a pedal snake endorser since easily 2000. And this is my new custom one. It's a little dirty right now. And it's sad because the floor gets dirty in here a lot as well too. So I have to clean it up a little bit when I do my video shoot. But this is very, very nice. This is a 25-foot snake. And it looks a little messy right now. And Jody from Pedal Snake, please don't be upset with me for showing a slightly dirty pedal snake, because it is. But you know what? That means I'm using it. So you'll see two ends. This one is the pedal end. Okay, so on the pedal end, you've got these pigtails at the end. So what my pedal snake does, okay, it's a very, very nice cable. So I have a 7-pin DIN. Okay, so that goes to my 5153 foot switch. I have a send and return. Okay, that's my send and return. I have an 18-volt line, and I only have right now I only have one 18-volt pedal on the board. That's the MXR flanger EVH, and then I have two 9-volt lines. So that goes to two 9-volt power supplies at the backline. The cool thing about Pedal Snake is all your power supplies, everything is at the backline, way behind your amplifiers and everything. It's away from your pedals. Everything is isolated. But this was my idea. I said to Jody, I said, because I was running one 9-volt power supply to my board for everything running through the loop and to the front of the input. And I said, I think we can take this a step further. Let's go two separate 9-volt power supplies. One will be isolated, running only the pedals running through the loop. The second isolated 9-volt power supply will be running only to the pedals in the front. And that made a huge difference in the signal to noise ratio and getting rid of electronic hum, interference, and things like that. So that's why I have that. And then I also have strictly my regular output that goes to the input of the amplifier. So that's the pedal end. And then on the opposite end, I'll see if I can get to that without too much trouble here. And like I say, it's a little dirty, but it means I'm using it. Then you have the opposite end, which is the amplifier end. Okay, and actually I just did that backwards, but you get the idea. It's just the opposite end. But Gustavo, he had saw my pedal snake and he wanted to get one right away, so I put him in touch with Jody. And Jody got him a price and is building him a custom one as well too. And if anyone's looking for like the best snakes you can get, look up pedalsnake.com. And the cool thing is, Jody is like another Adam Reaver from Vuitton. And what I mean by that is he wants you to ask questions. People that don't care about the customer and people that just want the fast buck won't ask questions, or they don't want you to ask questions. They just want your credit card number. And please check out at my website, the Adam Reavers of the world and the Jody Pages of the world, the Ricks at Idea Bench, people like that. They want you to ask questions. And when you talk with Pedal Snake, they're going to give you a rig questionnaire. And so you're going to say, you basically fill out this paper and you say, okay, here's what I use. Here's my inputs. Here's what I'm using, blah, blah, blah. Here's my line, my line needs. And then he's going to come back and you're going to realize how much you don't know about your rig, as much as you think you know about your rig, as much as I thought I knew about my rig, using it for, a decade plus, and being a musician for 35 years, whatever. You think you know your rigs until you deal with some of these guys and they're like, did you know about this? And you're like, oh, I never thought of that. You'll learn a lot from asking these manufacturers questions. So get in touch with if you're looking for a good snake solution. The nice thing is, if you're in a band situation, you're playing with a few bands, you want to get on that stage and get off that stage fast, Pedal Snake is where it's at. And trust me, you'll thank me later for sure. What else did I miss here? I know we're missing a lot. And I'm going to let you guys go real soon too. I mean, I'm sure you're getting sick of me. And in case anyone's wondering why I'm not playing tonight, nothing is hooked up back there. I just got everything looking pretty, and that's all. That's all it is. It's just looking pretty. There's nothing hooked up there. Let me see here. So that was Patrick Williams asking about the 5150 of the Bray, and Gustavo was talking about Jody Pedal Snake, and Surfcat Matt says, yay, Adam, I backed off the BBE for the exotic. And that's good too. You know what? The BBE, and just so people don't think I'm a hypocrite, because I praise the BBE, and I still do. I still love the BBE Sonic Stomp. It's sitting on the floor over there. I've took it off the board because in my process of trying to eliminate one pedal or trying to eliminate sources of noise, I attributed it down to the BBE. I'm not saying the BBE is going to give you noise on your board, and nor do I discourage you from trying it or buying it. It was that one kid in the sandbox. You go to the park and you got 3 or 4 kids playing in the sandbox, and there's always that one little, I don't want to say jerk, but that one little kid that doesn't play nice in the sandbox. Well, in my case, the BBE was a little jerk that was kicking up sand. Maybe take that little kid out of the sandbox and he's fine on his own. In my case, with the new system I was running, it just wasn't playing nice. I'm still not going to get rid of it because I want to give it the benefit of the doubt. Basically the BBE is in timeout right now. It's over in the corner, and I'll bring him or her back, and we'll see how they behave a little bit later, because I did love it. It was one of those pedals where when I put it on, just like the Exotic, I left it on all the time. But that's very cool. So it's nice to know that we're talking similar there as well too. So Adam's asking how he likes it to Surf Cat running in the front of the amp or whatever. And let me see here. Adam says he has better friends on YouTube than the real office and life, or a real offline life. Yeah, I agree for sure. Darren Moore says, thank you, Eric. Seriously, I am hard on myself all the time, but I seriously appreciate your kind words. No problem, Darren. And you know what? That's one thing that we all need to do as creative people, and not like whether it's guitar, myself like in guitar, or photography. I'm into photography now. For the longest time, because I build websites for a living. That's what my business is. I do photography, websites, and video production for a living. And photography is a new thing. It's a new avenue I've offered to people in my business. And I was telling customers, believe it or not, I would actually go to a customer and say, oh, I can build your website, but I won't take your photos because I suck. And I started kind of self-analyzing. I was like, okay, what does that say about myself if I'm saying I suck? And I've even said it about guitar playing. And I think sometimes the only reason why I'll say it is guitar playing is a different thing, because I'd rather say it and beat the trolls to it. And then you take away the troll thunder by letting them say you suck. Then you've already taken their thunder. I think that's the only reason why I say that. And now there's a fine line with that too. You don't go from saying, okay, I don't suck. Now you don't want to be saying, okay, I'm great, I do everything great. You can't do that. You have to keep yourself grounded. And but don't be hard on yourself. Find something that you think you do well, that you've like, maybe it's arpeggios, maybe it's string skipping, maybe it's just tapping. If you do that really, really well, say, yeah, I can tap pretty good, or something like that. Say something along that lines. Give yourself that little bit of encouragement. Accept it when you get it, but be level-headed. And Darren is one of those good level-headed guys, and I appreciate that, and I respect that. And there's a lot of guys out there. Your Liquid Charlies are like that. Your Jay Palmers. Pretty much everybody that's over here in the chat right now is like that group. I don't tend to associate with people that aren't like that. The people that their poop doesn't stink. I really don't have time for people like that. And that's one thing that I see in this chat, is people are really good people. They're humble. But you guys deserve a little bit more credit than you give yourselves credit for sure. You're good musicians. And I'm proud to learn things from you guys, and happy to have you as friends for sure. And Cinder says he's down for some bass for sure. And we have Luco. I'm not 100% sure. Manviel from Argentina. Very cool. That's awesome. I don't know what time it is. I'm sure it's got to be probably morning over there, very early morning. And Surfcat, so Adam says, Surfcat, I'm going to pick Eric's brain when he calls me. He knows where it works best. And no, I don't. I just have opinions. And everyone has an opinion. You know what I mean? Some people like Pepsi, some people like Coke. It doesn't mean either one's better. But I'll be more than happy to share my opinion. Sure. Let me see here. So Surfcat says, yeah, I've been looking forward to Eric's pedal setup videos, and I'm going to be doing a lot more this year. Trust me, that's what got me doing this channel, was the demos. You go back to January 2016, and it was, here's me hooking up some pedals. Yay. I'm sitting on the floor, a very bad mic situation, very bad camera situation. And I'm like, if anyone likes this, I'll do another one. Here I am a year and a few months later, and it's going great. So, obviously, who spoke on that one was you guys, the fans. So that's awesome. So, but you will expect a lot more gear demos. I promise you that. And needs to learn a thing or two. You know what? I'd be more than happy to share what I know, and I'd be more than happy to have tips shared from you guys and girls, because I'm always learning from people in here as well too. I didn't know anything about Bray amps, and I'm probably gonna learn something tonight as well. You know what? This is really cool. Adam says, Eric, just for craps and giggles, you should get Will's Easy Guitar on here, Rated X. Yeah, you know what? I'm a subscriber to him. I've been a subscriber for quite some time, and I've kind of got bummed out recently just because I kind of feel pain for him. He's been going through some real personal problems, and I think he's got like massive subscribers. I think he's probably easily 80,000, maybe 100,000 or more. Could even be, I don't know. But he's been going through some personal things and a lot of stress, and I think he gets a lot more trolls than some of us do, and it could be in the thousands of trolls, and that's hard to deal with sometimes. So he's still going. He was talking about quitting YouTube, and I'm really glad he hasn't. But that'd be pretty cool. I'd love to have him on. I don't know. I'd have to hit a censor button probably, but if he wants to come on the show, I'd love to have him on. I think he's doing a cool thing. Let me see here. Speaking of people doing a cool thing, I'm going to have Henning Pauly back on here right away. He's going to come back on my channel here, and then I'm going to go over on his channel sometime soon. I love his stuff. Our favorite German when it comes to product reviews and demos. Got to meet him at NAMM, and we said hi real quick, exchanges, and then we chatted a lot after and had him on the show a while back. He is funny as heck. You want to talk about someone who's can be X-rated. There's no filter on that guy, and that's actually cool. You know what I mean? Just disclaimer, when he's on the show, if you're afraid of hearing some bad words, you don't want to watch the show. But he calls it like it is. He doesn't hold anything back. He'll tell gear reviews. People send him stuff to review it, and if it sounds like crap, he's going to say it sounds like crap. He's hilarious. But he's going to be on the show again right away too. So looking forward to that. Let me see here. Loosen the back and so you need a drink for the back. Yeah, I have a very sore back today, but it's getting a little bit better. And Mystery Music says, just saw that you're live. Might as well take a break from working on Cliffs of Dover. Been practicing it for 8 months, so that would be a bit longer. Haha. I haven't practiced that song. I had last time I practiced that song, I had a Marshall JCM 900 and a Fender USA American Pewter Strat Plus. I think it had the roller nut, the lay sensor pickups, and I was really into the Eric Johnson thing back in that day. So and I was using a tube screamer. So Marshall JCM 900, high gain, dual reverb, the USA Fender Strat Deluxe, or I think it's Strat Deluxe, something like that, whichever one it is, lay sensors and the roller nut. It was very cool, and I was working on some of that stuff. So that really brings back memories. That was pretty cool. So let me see here. Surfcat Matt says studio looks good. Mystery Music says, anyone got an original Echoplex they can send me? That'd be pretty cool. And that's where the EP booster got a lot of its that's basically the circuit design from the Echoplex, because a lot of people don't really realize Eddie would engage the Echoplex mainly for the boost, and sometimes a phaser as well too, just a couple dB boost for solos, not necessarily what the effect could do. It was more of a boost to cut through the mix, and that's where the EP booster really shines. Let me see here. So if Trip Machine says, thank you, Eric, hope you really enjoyed. And Surfcat Matt saying Florida represented. Obviously, true with Trip Machine. And Neil Banbury, what's the Facebook address? If you're referring to for the show here, it's facebook.com/EVH Gear Discussion. And I apologize if I missed something else. If you're referring to something else, please forgive me, because it's sometimes hard to keep up with the feed. And Citizen Kane says, the Freebird comment was just a rip on what you said about requests when playing clubs. I must have heard play Freebird 1,000 times in clubs. Yeah, it's like, play some Sabbath. And the funny thing is, as much as people knew me for doing Van Halen type stuff, I don't think I ever heard someone say, play some Van Halen. Probably because they would read the set list on the stage and they'd see Van Halen on the set list. But I never really got that. But yeah, play this and play that. I actually, one time we were playing a club, and this was the first time I had a real heckler. This was up north in northern Ontario. And let me see here. Trying to think what it was. The girl comes in, a whole bunch of people come in, and the crowd, at the time, the crowd was dead, and no one was really, when the crowd's dead, the band kind of goes down, your morale goes down, and then all of a sudden this whole group of people come in, all of a sudden the band perks back up, and this girl comes over to the stage, and she says, and we just got finished doing Nickelback and some other stuff like that. Don't hate on us for doing Nickelback, but some rock stuff. And they said, do you know any? Do you do any Chicago? And I said, yeah, we got some Peter Cetera coming right up, like a rock band doing Chicago, right? So you do get some weird requests for sure. It's some really weird stuff out there. Let me see here. Let me scroll down a little bit here too. Michael Bishop says, YouTube has replaced TV for me. I can learn stuff. I learn a lot about photography. Awesome. Video shooting and editing, music theory on YouTube. There's some really good people. Michael, you probably know these people already. And obviously I like the Jared Polans, the Frono's Photo, the Scott Kelbys. Another guy you need to look up if you haven't already, that's a real kind of a jack of all trades when it comes to the multimedia, video editing, photography, audio recording. shooting professional video. Curtis Judd, I have him as a friend on Facebook, and he's been a huge influence on me, just as much as a lot of you guys tell me, oh, Eric, I bought the EP booster because you said so, or I bought the lunchbox because you said so. Curtis Judd and the Jared Polans and people like that, I bought all these camera pieces strictly on reviews that they've done. So, and here's another example. I know I'll get off on tangents. Another channel I just found recently, Think Media TV. I just subscribed to those guys. And people like us, when I say us, I'm going to use myself as an example, and the other people here, the Johnny Beans, the David Nesdalls, people here in the chat, we're what they call influencers on a different way. Like, we're a product influencer because we talk about things and we influence people's decisions, whether or not we make them buy the products. Okay, it doesn't matter, or we don't make them buy the product, but we can have an influence on people's decisions. A lot of brands these days, and I'm not just talking about gear, like, I mean, this kind of gear, it could be televisions, it could be toasters, it could be appliances, whatever. These people that aren't celebrities have sometimes a bigger voice than these big, like your Kardashians and these people, these massive people, because we're just the average Joes, right? And you know what? Oh, I bought this new microwave because it's great, does this, blah, blah, blah. I'm using a really stupid example, but that's why I learned a lot from this channel, Think Media TV. Might want to check those guys out as well too. I learned a lot from that. So I get influenced by product decisions by watching videos just like these on other avenues, and I watch a lot of them. Photography, I watch, all kinds of different stuff. So I think the influence of the people doing what we do here have a bigger say than I think we actually even realize. Because I see it all the time with emails. Oh, I bought this because of that. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Sweet. So that was a very long rant on something that Michael Bishop said, but he has a very good point. Okay, let me see here. Scroll down a little bit more. Okay, so Darren Morris got a bit of an answer, and I apologize if I miss anyone else's answer on the Brays. He says the Bray amps are very classic sounding from what I've heard. Not sure about the 4550. I have limited experience with them. And so Adam says, Eric, I have had the Zuma power supply in my hands today. Oh boy, it's sweet. Yeah, he's referring to the big brother of the Strymon power supply. I have the OJ coming. It's a smaller one, and I think I actually need the smaller one to fit inside my Idea bench. But the Zuma is pretty cool as well. It's actually the bigger brother. Look those up on Strymon product. I think it's strymon.net, but look up Strymon products. You'll see those power supplies. And Mr. Music, get rid of all that gear and buy you a Line 6 pod. I'm not a big fan of the Line 6 stuff. I'm not saying I hate it. It's cool for practicing and stuff like that. I'm more of this kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Now that being said, I love the Boss Katana series. I love that stuff as well too, with all the effects and simulations and stuff in there too. Just not a huge Line 6 fan. I have been in the past. And GRAM74, I'm definitely in need of a pedal snake. Nice. Contact pedalsnake.com. Look up contact Jody Page. He'd be more than happy to answer any of your pre-sales questions for sure. Do that. And Mr. Music says that pedal snake is a great idea. I have to look into that. And I know Jody will take care of you for sure. He loves it when he hears that I have referred people, because it shows that I'm working hard for the brand. And I love to do that because they've taken very, very good care of me. And it's not something I just stick my name on. Just Sandra Lee will be the first person to tell you, and this is a fact. This is something I haven't really said too much, but to try to share and show my sincerity and my honesty when it comes to endorsing a product. I've dropped people before, and I won't say the names because I just want they don't deserve the respect for the reason they were bad people. But I've dropped people that gave me free guitars. They were nice guitars, double neck guitars, Les Paul style guitars, not Gibson. Okay, I'm not saying Gibson. Very nice looking things, but the people were not good people. I dropped them. I will not stick my name. And actually, our band was kind of going along a family image at one point. We were trying to find our niche. We tried everything. So let's go for a family-friendly look. And this company that was endorsing us, or we were endorsing or whatever, whichever way you want to look at it, we could not put our name on the things that they were doing off to the side. So I will not stick my name on something. So when I say pedal snake, you can bet your bottom dollar that I believe in it 100%. If I'm talking EVH, you can guarantee, you bet your bottom dollar that I believe in what I'm talking about. If I don't believe in something, I'm not going to talk about it on the show for sure. So long story short, tell these people that I sent you, and they will appreciate it because they know I'm working hard for them. And that's really nice. Am I getting a paycheck from them? No. So Charlie's saying Eric had noise issues with the BBE. I did have some of that for a little bit. Taking it out of the system for now. It's not getting sold yet because I just have that feeling I'm going to sell it or trade it off to somebody, and then I'm going to play somebody else's, and it's not going to give me noise. So I want to hang on to it for a little bit just in case. Andrew Emery saying quite often individual pedals need isolated ground lift in the chain. Can be for sure. Yeah, you never know, right? You never know. Let me see here. Sean Zimmerman, blame it on Eric. I know I scrolled a little too fast. You know what it is? I'm so used to. I've got two computers. I have a Mac over here and a PC over here, and I scroll one way on a PC and it's the opposite way on a Mac. Okay, so let's see here. Who picked up an LBX2? Max Reverse says, Eric picked up a Lunchbox 2 today. Your review is spot on. Great amp. I appreciate that. Thank you. There again, you try to work hard to give back to these companies, and it's nice when you guys are watching this and you appreciate it, and it forms a buying decision. I appreciate that. We have another one here as well too. George Cara, greetings from Melbourne, Australia. Eric, keep up the great work. Plugged in my PV Wolfgang Special into my old PV Bandit trans tube for a bit of fun. Got some serious tone. I'm very happy that worked for you and you had some fun with it. That's great. Let me see here. So yeah, Citizen Kane saying that Will shared a lot of great info, and I know I missed a few comments. I'm really sorry. Let me see here. Adam is saying Eric is as humble as they come. Not everybody thinks that, but you know what? The people that know me, honestly, when I was in the band, I looked like I had an ego. Yeah, I looked like, people say, that guy's stuck up and blah blah blah, whatever. You guys thinks this crap doesn't sing. I had an act to portray. I had a job. When I'm on that stage for, if it was 15 minutes to 45 minutes to 4 hours, that was my job, and I had to look like I owned that stage, and I did that job each and every night. And when I do these things here, I think this is toned down a lot more, but I have a job. This isn't the job here, but and that's why I think it's more scaled down. But I honestly, if people that really sincerely know me, I'm harder on myself than I am as far as tooting my horn. So I think you've hit it on the head. Like I tried, and if you guys think I need to be more humble, share your comments. I'd be more than happy to try to hear what you're saying and whatever. But I do try to make it as cement over shoes. That's what I call it. Keep yourself grounded, and I try to do that every day. And so keep my feet on the ground, and my hat fits. I don't have a hat that I can't fit my head, so we're good for now. Now, if I hit 1 million subscribers, it's a whole different game. No, I'll still be the same guy, and we got a long ways to go before 1 million too. This is a good one here too. Darren Moore says, talk about censorship. You should try and see if Satchel from Steel Panther would ever come on for a little bit. He loves EVH amps, and I bet he'd be funny and somewhat insightful. You know what? I think that'd be pretty cool. And as long as, he'd be out of his comfort zone a little bit because he can't swear like a sailor. But, and there are some kids, younger kids. You'd be surprised, younger kids that watch this show, including my own son. But I know we have some young teens and things like that watch too. So we have to be a little careful. So that'd have to say, okay, I'm sorry, here's the riot act. Got to keep it down a little bit, but that'd be very, very cool. And I definitely, I'll put it on my list for sure. Let me see here. I'm going to let everybody get going here very soon. So Mr. Music is playing through a Mesa Mark V, Mark V, very, very nice. Scroll and see if I missed anything else. Billy Peddle may suggest. Oh, I scrolled too fast. I hate this mouse. I got to get another mouse. Quentin James says, your reputation is everything. We appreciate the insights and discussion from Andrew Emery. Hang on to your gear. BBE 442 rack with JMP works together better than a pedal. Yeah, I know a lot of people that have the rack unit. And then Zachary Suri says he'd like to buy some more gear, but it doesn't have the money. Sad face, he says. You know what? I know Zach's of the age where, he can summer jobs and stuff like that. Just put your sights on something and tell yourself you're going to get it. Work hard for it. Get some summer jobs, whatever, for the younger kids like that. Just tell yourself you want something. don't ask your parents for it and beg your parents for it. Go out and do some part-time jobs. And if you're of age, I don't want this to be like, a sweatshop or something like that, working child labor. But if you're old enough to do some summer jobs or mow some lawns or shovel snow, whatever part of the country you're in, save up your money and you'll get it in no time at all. And you'll appreciate it much more than if your parents just bought it for you. So it's obtainable, trust me. I remember buying my first Sony Walkman, and I know that goes way back, but I bought the top of the line Sony Walkman, and I think it was like $300 or $400 when I was a teenager. And I bought it with corn money, like, detasseling corn. And that was a crappy job. But when I bought that thing, I was so proud of it. And, I knew the value of the dollar. So put your sights on something, work hard at it, and you'll get it, whether it's a new guitar or a pedal or maybe both. You can do it, Zach, for sure. Have you tried a rack effect with your EVH50? I think the amps work better with pedals. I have not tried a rack effect with any of these amps back here right now at all. Now, I know when I had my PV5150s, I used to use the Rocktron and Teleflex, and I really enjoyed that pedal. I mean, that rack unit. Now, today, would I still like it? I don't know. But I enjoyed the reverbs. I did some of it had the delay ducking in it, which was very, very nice. So as you're playing, the delay would back off. And then as you would, hit a note, then the delay would come back up. You could do your pitch to tune, so you could get kind of that simulated wet, dry, wet effect. So you have, what I used to do all the time is I would pitch to tune the left channel, negative 11 cents, pitch tune a positive on the right channel, 11 cents up. And you got that kind of real nice balanced tone of Van Halen, which was pretty cool. Let me see here. So I do agree that pedals probably work better. And get Satchel to talk about the gear, and I bet he would keep it light or make that episode pay-per-view. Hey, there you go. You never know. But you know what? I am going to reach out to him for sure. And Cutie Pie, I believe, is my niece. My niece, my granddaughter. My niece. I believe that's my granddaughter. Sandra Lee will comment on that if that's correct. And Sean Zimmerman says, well said, Eric. So, I actually said granddaughter. I have grandkids, and very proud of it as well. I really don't have a lot else, guys. I've rambled. At my YouTube screen over here is saying an hour and 20 minutes. I think that's probably more than that. I mean, I think that's always a little bit behind. I've really taken up way too much of your Tuesday evening. Zachary says, the only job I can get is a paper route, so I already have 2 of those. And I pay for hockey and my guitar lessons, but I save up to try to buy some nice things in the future. Well, there's a person we talk about on this show here a lot, Eddie Van Halen. Eddie and Alex had double paper routes. I'm not saying that you say you have 2 of those, but you know what? Eddie and Alex did the same thing, and that's how legends were born. You got Eddie and Alex Van Halen out there, shuffling papers out to people of Los Angeles, and to pay off their gear. And look what we have now because of that. So hard work does spawn good things. And, I think that's another thing I talked earlier about learning things from our parents. That's one thing I learned from my parents is nothing good comes easy. That applies to anything in life, a good job, a good talent. If you have, getting a good band, getting a good gig, whatever it is, everything comes better with hard work, and you'll certainly appreciate it. That's like when you go out, let's say it's a weekend, right? It's your weekend off and you're doing work around the house. You go outside, early in the morning after you've had your coffee, your breakfast, and you go work your butt off all day long. You come in the house and you're exhausted and you think what you got done that day. It's a very rewarding thing to know that you've accomplished something. And there's also days too where you just want to take a lazy day and do absolutely nothing. Those are great too. Trust me, I have some of those too. So I was correct, and that is my granddaughter. So good to see you. And I'll just keep her name private just for privacy's sake. So Darren Moore says, it was a great show tonight, Eric. I really enjoy the chatty shows here and there. A lot of interesting topics. Yeah, I'll throw some of these in here. I'll sprinkle them like Sandra Lee does with her special ingredients in the kitchen when she's cooking. She never tells me what they are or when she's doing them. It's just they make some magic sometimes. So I'll try to throw these little spur of the moment ones with no agenda, and it's kind of fun as well too. I think the whole thing, what it was today, was just to kind of show you how the studio is coming along. So it's coming along. And here's to wrap it up. Here's a good example of something I touched base on just a while ago, and how hard work comes with results, and to not say you suck and just give yourself some encouragement. A year or 2 ago, I was saying my photography sucked and I cannot take pictures. In 2015, I took those pictures of Van Halen, and I was front of the stage at Molson Amphitheater in Toronto. So if I would have kept on saying I suck, I probably wouldn't have been there, probably wouldn't have done that, So never say you suck. Always believe in yourself. Work hard at what you do. Don't expect overnight results. Follow a lot of good people. Surround yourself with good people. Follow a lot of good guitar players. Follow the Liquid Charlies of the world. Good people. Find these people, the Jay Palmers of the world, the Craig Rundles of the world. All these people that are out there that are kind of almost inspiring role models for people. Don't waste your time on negative people. And there's millions of negative people. There's only a handful of good people. Follow those people. And that's not just musicians. Just follow good people. Surround yourself with good people. And you have no chance other than being a good person. And then it's contagious. It's like a rinse and repeat. How do they say that in The Walking Dead? Whatever. It's contagious in a very, very good way. Go get your coffee at the coffee shop in the morning and say, thanks a lot. Have a great day. And, it just comes back to the next person on the line. It's really nice. Pay it forward. There you go. There's what I was looking for. Max Fear says, great show, Eric. Power of positive thinking. So there you go. That's what I tried to put a spin on this show. Positive thinking, positive energy. And you know what? 33 people watching, 35 thumbs up, positive, 4 thumbs down. Those people aren't positive. They hate themselves. They hate their lives. You can't feel bad for those people. They just have bad lives. Their moms didn't love them enough. Anyways, I'll let you all go. Positive, no matter what. And we'll see you on Friday night. Guitar Guru is joining me. They're going to be on the program. Keith Barris and Andy joining us. We're going to have some fun discussion and a bunch more stuff coming up. I'm going to be going live here in between. Got a lot of website building to do, so I got to get back on that. Customers, I got some good customers I'm working with. Very excited about that. Very fortunate and very thankful. You know what I'm really fortunate for? Number one, I get to do every day. I get to work for myself and work from home. I love it. Love being with my family. I get to see cool people like you guys in the chat. And honestly, I can't think of more fun in my life than to just talk about gear, talk about whatever with people in the chat. And you guys are family. You're not just friends. You're not just social people. You're friends and your family. Cutie Pie says, great show, and you better get to bed. It's late. It's the school night. Get to bed. And that being said, I have to go tuck the boy in and give him hugs and kisses, and I like to read him a story. I do stories with him every night too, so I want to get on that. And before, I don't want to keep him up any later. And I like reading stories too at night. Let me see here. So lots of people say, thanks, Eric. Good advice from great guys. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to turn it over to my favorite little man in the whole world. He's going to tell you what his name is, what he's playing, and I promise I'll be back real soon. Thank you so much for a very, very fun evening Tuesday night. You guys rocked it totally, guys and girls. Thank you so much, everyone. Talk to you real soon. Cheers.
My name is Eric, and I'm playing left-hand guitar.
Video production services provided by Design 39 Media. Visit design39media.com for all your website, photography, and video production needs.